Wrestling Reality on TribLIVE Radio, brought to you by Gladiators of the Cage. They got a big show coming up soon, August 22nd, just north of Pittsburgh. If you want some great MMA action with professional and amateurs, check that out. You can go to GOTCMMA.com. More on that in just a little bit. Speaking of MMA, he wears the MMA gloves. No, I'm not talking about Brock Lesnar. I am talking about the return of the dead man, the Undertaker. Now, when the Undertaker came back Sunday night at Battleground, I found myself asking why. Why now in the context of the storylines? Does this make any sense? But when the Undertaker came on Monday Night Raw, I found myself not caring if it made sense. I just wanted to see the fight. The context is still a little shaky. I guess it's the most logical explanation that you could give, the explanation he gave of Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman just, hammering over and over and over and reminding week after week, day after day that they broke the streak. But yeah, the Undertaker should realize, he said it himself, streaks are meant to be broken. So right off the bat, when you say streaks are meant to be broken, wouldn't you then know that if somebody is to finally conquer and break your streak, that they're gonna brag and boast about it? And if you want to come extract revenge, wouldn't you have done it at the next WrestleMania? The context is shaky. Obviously, it screams in legit real life here. It screams of this was somewhat of a last, I won't say minute, but a last month decision. I would not be surprised if the moment that Brock Lesnar came back to set up his July Battleground match with Seth Rollins, right about that point, they probably then started saying, okay, we're going to do Brock versus Taker at SummerSlam. So it was somewhat last minute, and what's the best explanation we can give? Well, we just got to tie the streak back into it. But my point going back to, after the way they presented everything Monday Night Raw, I don't care if they're fighting over Jimmy John's sandwich. I want to watch. The Undertaker's promo was a bit heelish, but again, this is not a heel or face. If you are confusing yourself with the heel or face thing, stop it. This is two larger-than-life personas, two guys who we must all appreciate while we have them, which is only going to be for so much longer, especially in the dead man's case, as an active performer at all. So we're going to enjoy them, larger than life. Good promo. Paul Heyman came back, did what he does best, and then the brawl in the ring. Everything, it was a beautiful thing of logic. First off, the announcers getting up and leaving. That's step number one. That made sense. That made total sense. And then the entire roster coming out, with the exception of a few people, I like that. And I'm glad they showed the backstage thing. It makes perfect sense. This is our SummerSlam main event. We need all of you to put aside your differences, and you need to get out there and make sure that this main event is protected. Of course, more bodies, more chaos, more ratings, more excitement, more buzz, more things for me to talk about, more things for you to call and tweet about. The beautiful logic was in this. It extends into the backstage. How many times do you see some vicious fight out in the ring, and then you wonder, well, these two guys just went through the same damn curtain. They must be sharing a Jimmy John sandwich all of a sudden. No, we saw chaos, and it worked great. It was done great. And here's the beautiful logic. Not only was it logical that they continued having the chaos backstage, but that they can hold true to that formula. I would not be shocked that between now and SummerSlam, if there is not another episode of Raw that has both men in the building at the same time. You don't need to have both men in the building at the same time from here on out. The next time both men could be in the building at the same time would be SummerSlam itself. And here's my idea, WWE. When SummerSlam Day comes and the event starts, show something backstage. Show it during the pre-show. Show a few cuts of it during the show itself. Show Brock Lesnar's dressing room backstage and show security outside of it. Maybe you don't show an Undertaker dressing room. I don't know. Do we think he still comes from the mystical grave? I'm not sure. But any which way, present it as, look, we have a tight security backstage. It is locked down here at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. We are going to make sure that what happened weeks ago in Raw does not happen and that they do not touch each other until the ring. That would be the way to go. You're welcome. We got a whole lot coming up here. Again, Gladiators of the Cage, bringing you Wrestling Reality on TribLIVE Radio. Don't go anywhere.